Hi, I'm Dr. Jonice Webb. Welcome to the first in my series on childhood emotional neglect. Today, I'd like to take 3 minutes to tell you what childhood emotional neglect is and why I think it's so important. Here's the definition of childhood emotional neglect. I'll call it CEN for short. It's a parent's failure to respond enough to a child's emotional needs. You can see from this definition that it's not something that a parent does to a child. Instead, it's something a parent fails to do for a child. Because it's not something that happens, but something that fails to happen, our brains don't record it and our eyes don't see it. So it goes unseen and unremembered while it does its silent damage to people's lives. Here's how it works. Let's say that you're growing up in a household in which your parents love you. You have a fine house, you have plenty of clothes, you have plenty of food, and you go to school every day. Sounds like a fine childhood, right? But let's say that in this fine childhood, there's an essential ingredient missing, which is required to have in childhood in order to grow up into a fully thriving and fully connected adult. That missing ingredient is parental emotional attunement. Let's say that your parents don't notice when you're feeling upset. Let's say your parents don't respond the way that you need them to when you're feeling angry or hurt, when you have a problem at school, when you have an argument with a sibling. Let's say that your parents don't really treat you as an individual, but they treat you like they would a typical child. They don't see the true you or respond to your true nature. These are examples of growing up in a household in which you are not receiving emotional attunement. A child who grows up this way receives a subtle, even if unintended, but very powerful message from her parents. That message is, your feelings don't matter. Your emotional needs don't matter. And on a whole different level, what the child really hears is, you don't matter. When you grow up this way, which is basically a childhood that's characterized by CEN, you may grow up feeling deep inside that there's something not quite right with you. As an adult, you may feel different from other people in some way. You may feel that you're living your life with less joy and connection than other people have. You may feel that no matter where you are, you never quite belong there. And you may struggle with self-discipline. And because you may have great difficulty seeing why you feel all of these things that are not quite right, you probably will blame yourself because you'll have no other explanation. It's hard to know whether you grew up with CEN since it's so unmemorable. So if you'd like to learn more or take the Childhood Emotional Neglect Questionnaire, please visit my website, emotionalneglect.com. And stay tuned for my next video, which will be about the struggles which are commonly faced by people who grew up with CEN. Thanks for listening.